The midday news. I am Olayinka Iroyin. Forum of chairmen and members of commissions, boards and agencies in Ekiti State has joined the list of groups calling on Governor Biodun Oyebanji to recontest for a second term in office. At a ceremony in Ado-Ekiti, the forum unanimously endorsed the governor and his deputy for the next year governorship election. BSS reporter Iroyin has the rest of the story.
The mini pavilion at Fajuyi in Ado-Ekiti, the venue of the ceremony, was filled with posters with different descriptions calling on Governor Oyebanji to run for a second term in office. In his opening remarks, the chairman of the forum, Chief Alaba Bejide, who is the chairman Local Government Service Commission, said the group endorsed the governor and his deputy for another term as an expression of their appreciation to the present administration for providing a living environment at their various establishments.
We are therefore unanimously calling on the governor, Mr. Biodun Oyebanji, to declare his interest to contest for the positions of the executive governor of the state in 2026.
The chairman board for vocational and technical education, Pastor Kayede Babade, moved a motion for the endorsement, seconded by a member of the House of Assembly Commission, Mrs. Folarushi Adeosi, and ratified by the Ekiti State House of Assembly Speaker, Mr. Adeoye Aribasoye.
If a favor that Governor Biodun Oyebanji be endorsed by all members, chairmen and members, that Mr. Governor continue to 2030. Say
Earlier, representatives of the forum from the 3 senatorial districts in the state who took turns to express the reasons for the endorsement said Governor Oyebanji's performance in less than 3 years in office was unprecedented. The Secretary to the State Government, Professor Abibat Adubiaro, and the Special Advisor to the Governor on Political Matters, Chief Jide Awe, expressed the determination of the Governor to continue to work on his mandate to improve the living standard of the people.
Thank God for today that you believe so much in Governor Biodun Oyebanji, in monumental achievements he has recorded so far. I really appreciate you.
The reward of hard work is to work more. And I think Mr. Governor is listening.
In separate interviews, some members of the forum said the program, which was the first of its kind among the political office holders in commissions, boards and agencies, was part of values of democracy.
There is no commission for a starter, agency, and board that he has never touched.
They are exercising their right to tell the governor to throw his hat into the ring second time, having performed very credibly.
Our government have done a lot in terms of training all our teachers, moving our teachers from grade level 15 to 16.
He promised to ensure that the governor and his deputy were returned to the government house for another term of 4 years. Iroyin reporting.
Ahead of the conduct of next year's governorship election in Ekiti State, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has announced the notice of election with a call on stakeholders to play the game according to the rules. The Ekiti State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Bumi Omosheindimi, made the announcement in Ado-Ekiti. BSS reporter Olushola Famous completes the story.
The meeting, which attracted representatives of political parties and journalists, was an avenue to intimate relevant stakeholders about the approval of the timetable and schedule of activities for the conduct of the election by the Commission. Dr. Omosheindimi says that the meeting was in line with the provision of Section 28(1) of the Electoral Act 2022 as amended, which mandates the Commission to issue the notice of the election not later than a year before the appointed date for the election.
It is in compliance with this statutory provision that we are gathered here today to formally notify stakeholders of the Commission's intention and schedule to conduct the Ekiti State governorship election in 2026. Although the detailed timetable and the schedule of activities for the governorship election have been uploaded to INEC website and social media platforms.
The state INEC boss expressed the commitment of the electoral body to uphold transparency, fairness, and professionalism in the process of conducting a credible election in 2026. He charged political actors to adhere to the rules of engagement in the conduct of party primaries and other activities in line with electoral guidelines, calling on media professionals to uphold professionalism in their news reportage.
As always, INEC remains committed to upholding the highest standard of transparency, professionalism, and fairness in all our processes. We expect that the political parties will reciprocate this by adhering strictly to the rules of engagement, particularly in conduct of their party primaries, submission of candidates and campaigns, and in accordance with the Electoral Act and Commission's guidelines.
Representatives of the various political parties present at the meeting were given copies of the schedule and timetable for the election, while same are expected to be pasted on the notice board of the Commission's offices at the local government level across the state. Olushola Thomas reporting.
The June edition of the monthly environmental sanitation exercise holds in Ekiti State on Saturday from 7 to 10 in the morning. Movement of people and vehicles will be restricted except for those on essential duties and candidates writing the 2025 NECO examinations, including supervisors and monitors. Government workers are expected to clean their office and surroundings today, while market vendors are to tidy their shops tomorrow. The theme of this month's exercise is "A Cleaner Environment Begins with You," encouraging personal responsibility. Roadside traders in Ado-Ekiti have been called upon to abide by the state government's decision to move to Agric or Lope market for safety. The Commissioner for Trade and Investment, Mrs. Tayo Adeola, made the call while featuring on EKTV Current Affairs program, Ejire. Mrs. Adeola said that after the expiration of the ultimatum agreed at the Risk Palace, government will enforce the ban. The Commissioner for Trade noted that Agric Olope Market was wearing a new look through constant power supply and adequate security. A university don, Professor Christopher Oluwadari, has identified lack of investments in the education and health sectors as causes of various problems facing the country. He made the position known while delivering the 93rd inaugural lecture of Ekiti State University in Ado, titled "What is Really Wrong with You? I Don't Know, a Psychological Diagnosis Without End." DSS reporter Olushola Thomas said that the ceremony was presided over by the Vice Chancellor of the institution, Professor Joseph Ayodele. The report.
The lecture had in attendance academic scholars from within and outside the state, family members, traditional rulers, and religious leaders. The professor of medical sociology, who defined total health as the idealized state of physical, mental, and social well-being of an individual, charged government and individuals to always do the right thing to attain a healthy society.
Illness as I saw, a more subjective assessment of the feeling of being sick, which can be confirmed by less significant others, like our parents, friends, especially in our culture. Our mothers like using the back of their palms to measure child's temperature, pressing the part of the body and asking, are you feeling pain? A professional significant others for us in sociology does not exclude our indigenous, like the Babalawos, the Onishetus, the Adamches, the professional healers, and also the Afars and the Wolis, because they engage in spiritism for healing and they are part of the significant others in healing and health seeking.
Professor Oluwadare, who condemned the spate of killings and insecurity in the country, attributed the menace to high poverty level, arbitrary inflation, poor access to good water, lack of healthcare services, fake drugs, and corruption in all sectors of the country.
It is not money, it is not economy that's a problem. Look at banditry, look at kidnapping, look at Boko Haram. Everything boils down to poor access to education. Once people are educated, they will take informed decisions. So I'm just knocking on the door of government, not only federal government, state government and the local government. Let them do the needful.
The medical sociologists identified corrupt practices at the various levels of health system in the country to include diversion of medical materials, absenteeism, favoritism in attending to patients, and recruitment, adding that leadership determines the type of corrupt practices displayed in different hospitals. He called on leaders to develop the political will to implement the international agreements of the 2001 that 15% annual budgetary allocation of our state and country be allocated to the health sector in the country.
It is a clarion call. It's an advocacy. Take all those recommendations one by one, and you find out that within the next decade, Nigerian problem will be over.
The Vice Chancellor of the institution, Professor Joseph Ayodele, in an interview described the lecture as apt. He expressed hope of a better Nigeria if various recommendations of the lecturer are implemented by governments and relevant stakeholders.
All of us will take care of our health, look at from the cultural perspective, spiritual and psychological perspective.
He expressed hope of a better Nigeria if the various recommendations of the lecturer are implemented by governments and relevant stakeholders. Olushola Thomas reporting.
The federal government has postponed recruitment into the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Nigerian Correctional Service, Federal Fire Service, and the Nigerian Customs Service to July 14. The portal, which was initially set to start receiving applications today, has been delayed due to an adjustment in the schedule. That's the midday news. Do join us at 3 for the home news. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.
ẹ káàsán ẹ sì káàbọ̀ sórí ìròyìn ọjọ́ kan rí Kelechi David lóníròyìn. Ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ti san bílíọ̀nù kan $450 mílíọ̀nù náírà fún àwọn èèyàn 150 tí àmúṣe àwọn iṣẹ́ àgbékalẹ̀ ìmọ̀ Èkìtì ṣe àkóbá fún ohun ìní wọn nígbà tí ó fáwọn tó jàǹfààní náà tí wọ́n wá láti àwọn agbègbè ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ láàrin ìlú Adó àti ìjọ Èkìtì ní Sọ̀wédowó. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ yìí Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bíọ́dún Oyèbánjí ṣàlàyé pé ìjọba òun yóò máa pèsè ọ̀nà àtijẹ míì fẹ́nikẹ́ni tàbí ẹgbẹ́ tí wọ́n bá lè ṣe àkóbá fún ọ̀nà àtijẹ rẹ̀ nítorí àmúṣe ètò ìdàgbàsókè ìpínlẹ̀ yìí. Akọ̀ròyìn ilé ìjọba wa Yẹmí Ọlájùtẹ̀mí jábọ̀ pé ọ̀gbẹ́ni Oyèbánjí ló mẹ́nubà pàtàkì ti agbègbè ìmọ̀ náà léyìí tí ó ní ó ṣe kókó ní mójútó àwọn ìpèníjà lóríṣiríṣi tó ń kojú ìpínlẹ̀ yìí tó fi mọ́ àìríṣẹ́ àti ètò ọgbọ́n àtinúdá civil sọ̀rọ̀ àti ètò ìrónilágbára bó ti dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn aṣáájú ìlú àti àwọn èèyàn tí ọ̀rọ̀ ń kàn fún bí wọ́n ṣe fààyè gba ìfikùnlukù tí wọ́n sì fi àyè sílẹ̀ fún àkànṣe iṣẹ́ náà tó wà fún ìdàgbàsókè ìpínlẹ̀ yìí. Ó ní àwọn ohun èlò tí ó wà lóríkò náà tí ó súnmọ́ ètò ti iṣẹ́ ìdàgbàsókè ọ̀hún ní pápákọ̀ òfurufú ti ìpínlẹ̀ yìí àti ọ̀nà ti èbúrò èyí tí ó lọ sí oríkò náà léyìí tó ní ń ṣèrànwọ́ ìdàgbàsókè ìpínlẹ̀ yìí. Gómìnà dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ báńkì tó wà fún ìdàgbàsókè ilẹ̀ Áfíríkà fún bí ó ṣe jẹ́ pé ó ṣèrànwọ́ láti pèsè owó àti bí ìjọba àpapọ̀ ṣe yọ̀ǹda owó fún ìpínlẹ̀ yìí fún àkànṣe iṣẹ́ náà. Akọ̀wé ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Abibat Adubiaro tún ti ṣàtẹnumọ́ àwọn àṣeyọrí ìjọba Oyèbánjí ní àwọn ètò amáyédẹrùn ẹ̀kọ́ ìlera ríró àwọn ará ọ̀dọ́ lágbára àti àpéjọ àwọn alága àti àwọn ọmọ ìgbìmọ̀ láwọn iléeṣẹ́ àti ẹ̀ka ìjọba nípínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ti darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn tó ń pe gómìnà Bíọ́dún Oyèbánjí láti tún díje fún sáà kejì lọ́fíìsì níbi ètò kan tó wáyé nílùú Adó Èkìtì. Ẹgbẹ́ náà jùmọ̀ fọwọ́ sí pé kí gómìnà àti igbákejì rẹ̀ díje nínú ìdìbò gómìnà ọdún tó ń bọ̀. Oníròyìn BSCS Àbáyọ̀mí Pẹ́kẹ́ jábọ̀ ìròyìn pé gbọ̀ngàn ti pavilion èyí tó wà ní Fájuyì nílùú Adó Èkìtì ló jẹ́ pé ó jẹ́ oríkò ètò náà ló kún dẹnu pẹ̀lú onírúurú àkọlé lọ́wọ́ àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n ń pe gómìnà Bíọ́dún Oyèbánjí láti díje fún sáà kejì. Nínú ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀, alága ìgbìmọ̀ àwọn lájọ-lájọ ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí Olóyè Àlàbá Abẹ́jídé, ẹni tí alága àjọ tí ó ń rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí ní tí ó darí ikọ̀ náà kéde wípé wọ́n fọwọ́ sí pé kí gómìnà àti igbákejì rẹ̀ tún díje fún sáà kejì látàrí bí ó ṣe jẹ́ pé ó ti ní àwọn àṣeyọrí tí ìjọba tó wà lóde yìí ti ní léyìí tí ó mú ìgbé ayé gbẹdẹmukẹ bá àwọn aráàlú tí wọ́n sọ pé kò sí ẹ̀ka tí ìjọba tó wà lóde yìí kò tí ì fi ọwọ́ bà. Alága àjọ tó ń rí sí ètò ẹ̀kọ́ṣẹ́ ọwọ́ nípínlẹ̀ yìí Pásítọ̀ Káyọ̀dé Babádé ló dábàá kí gómìnà díje fún sáà kejì, nígbàtí alága àjọ tó ń rí sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ nílé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ yìí Fọlá Ríchì Ayádéwùsì kejì àbá náà tí olórí ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Adéoyè Aríbásóyè sì fi òǹtẹ̀ lù. Ṣáájú ni aṣojú láwọn ẹkùn ìdìbò mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta tó wà nípínlẹ̀ yìí ti ṣàlàyé lóríṣiríṣi àwọn ètò ìdàgbàsókè tí ìjọba tó wà lóde yìí tó ti gbé ṣe láàrin ọdún mẹ́ta èyí tí ó ti lò lórí àlééfà léyìí tí wọ́n ní ó kọjá kèrèmí. Akọ̀wé ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Abibat Adubiaro àti bọ́ba jírò pàtàkì fún gómìnà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ òṣèlú Olóyè Jídé Awẹ́ sọ wípé àwọn ṣetán lójúnà àti rí pé gómìnà tẹ̀síwájú nínú iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ àti pé gómìnà ní kò tí ì tẹ̀tì nínú ìlérí tó ṣe fún àwọn èèyàn ìpínlẹ̀ yìí àti láti mú ìgbé ayé gbẹdẹmukẹ bá àwọn aráàlú. Nínú ìfọ̀rọ̀wánilẹ́nuwò lára àwọn ọmọ ìgbìmọ̀ náà níbi ètò ọ̀hún ni wọ́n sọ pé ó jẹ́ ìgbà àkọ́kọ́ tí àwọn tó dipò òṣèlú mú ní lájọ-lájọ àti ẹ̀ka ìjọba yóò máa kéde àgbérù ìgbésẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ léyìí tí wọ́n sọ pé ó jẹ́ ara iyì ìjọba tiwantiwa. Wọ́n ṣèlérí láti rí i pé gómìnà àti igbákejì rẹ̀ ní ó láǹfààní láti tún padà sílé ìjọba fún ọdún mẹ́rin míì lọ́dún tó ń bọ̀. Ṣáájú ètò ìdìbò gómìnà ọdún tó ń bọ̀ nípínlẹ̀ Èkìtì, àjọ elétò ìdìbò orílẹ̀-èdè yìí INEC ti kéde ìlànà ìdìbò pẹ̀lú ìpèsè àwọn tọ́rọ̀ kàn láti tẹ̀lé àlàkalẹ̀ òfin. Ọ̀gá àjọ elétò ìdìbò nípínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ọ̀mọ̀wé Bùnmi Ọmọṣẹ́yìndèmí kéde èyí nílùú Àdó Èkìtì níbi ó ti sọ pé níbi ìpàdé ọ̀hún ni oníròyìn Olúṣọlá Thomas sọ pé àwọn aṣojú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú, àwọn akọ̀ròyìn ni àti àwọn ìkànnlú ló wà níbi ètò náà. Ètò sọ pé ìlànà ti ètò ìdìbò lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n gbé jáde ọ̀hún ló wà níbàámu pẹ̀lú àgbékalẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Ọ̀mọ̀wé Ọmọṣẹ́yìndèmí sọ pé òfin ilẹ̀ yìí ti ọdún 2022 ló ní ṣe pẹ̀lú ìlànà ètò ìdìbò ní ó jẹ́ pé ó fún àjọ lágbára láti kéde ìlànà bí ètò ìdìbò yóò ṣe lọ àti bí ó ṣe jẹ́ pé wọn yóò sì ṣe àwọn ètò lọ́jọ́ kọ̀ọ̀kan. Ọ̀gá àjọ elétò ìdìbò nípínlẹ̀ yìí wọ́n tẹnumọ́ ìfarajì àjọ elétò ìdìbò ọ̀hún láti fààyè gba àkóyawọ́ àti láti ṣe ètò ìdìbò tí yóò gbìyàn fẹ́gbẹ́ gbà wò bọ̀. Ètò ìgbàlùmọ̀ olóṣooṣù tóṣù yìí yóò wáyé nípínlẹ̀ Èkìtì lọ́jọ́ àbámẹ́ta bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti aago 7 sí 10 òwúrọ̀. Lílọ bíbọ̀ àwọn èèyàn tọkàn ní ààyè kò sí fún àyàfi àwọn tó wà lẹ́nu àkànṣe iṣẹ́ àti àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó ń kópa nínú ìdánwò NECO tọdún yìí pẹ̀lú àwọn olùdìbò, àwọn alábòjútó wọn. Àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba ni wọ́n ń retí láti tún àwọn ọ́fíìsì àti agbègbè wọn ṣe lọ́la bí àwọn oníṣòwò yóò ṣe tún àwọn ilé ìtajà wọn ṣe lónìí. Àkòrí ètò ìgbàlùmọ̀ náà ní àyíká tó mọ́ tónítóní bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú rẹ̀ ló wà láti ṣe móríyá nípa ojúṣe kálukú lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ìmọ́tótó. Àwọn èèyàn ìpínlẹ̀ yìí ni wọ́n gbà nímọ̀ràn láti kó àwọn ojú ọ̀gbàrá ilé wọn kí wọ́n dà pàǹtí wọn nù síbi tó tọ́ nítorí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àjọ wọléwọlé, àwọn àjọ tí kìí ṣe tìjọba àti àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ aláàbò yóò ṣe àbójútó ètò náà bí àwọn kóòtù alágbèéká yóò sì ṣe ẹjọ́ àwọn tó bá ṣẹ̀ sófin ètò ìgbàlùmọ̀. Èyí ló pé ìròyìn ọjọ́ kan rí. Ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní aago 7 nígbà tí a máa mú ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ wá sójú ìwòran yín. Ẹ káàsán.